Happy Mobility Sunday, everybody. Today we're going to focus mostly on lower body, glutes and legs, and you will need a lacrosse or a tennis ball. We'll do some rolling. So we'll start with some stretching. Let's start in a forward fold. So standing up, folding forward, just allowing your head to hang, arms to dangle. From here, start to play around with shifting your hips slightly forward toward the top of your head, and then maybe back toward the wall behind you. You can shift back and forth slowly or quickly, whichever feels better. Now from here, let's shift our hips left to right. Again, slowly or quickly, whichever is your preference. Try to pull your shoulders out of your ears. Keep allowing your head to just hang. Couple more seconds. You can find stillness if you like. And from here, let's walk our hands forward until we are in a plank position. Just hold for 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and drop your knees. Stand up tall on those knees. We're going to step forward with our left foot. Sink into a lunge. Right hand comes down to the ground. Left hand, if you can, reaches back behind you, grabbing for your right foot. If this is not doable for you, you can just hang out in this lunge. If you do have a hold of your foot, let's really open up your hips to the left side. Open up those shoulders. Breathing through it. And carefully releasing that back foot. Shifting your hips back, straightening that front leg, maybe flexing the foot, stretching down the back of the leg. And then from here, swinging your left knee to meet your right, standing tall. Let's switch to the other side. Lunging forward with the right foot, settling in here. If you're reaching for that back foot, go ahead and grab it. If not, just hang out in the lunge. If you do have your back foot, let's open our shoulders, open our hips a little bit. Oh, geez. I don't know if you can hear that, but my phone's ringing. And releasing the back foot, shifting your weight, your hips back, flexing through the front foot. And releasing. So one more hamstring stretch here. We're going to sit on our heels, on our shins, and then we're going to straighten our left leg out in front of us, flexing through that foot and hinging forward. Don't forget to breathe. And then swinging that leg, left leg back underneath you. Straighten the right leg, flex through the foot, hinge forward. And then swinging right leg back. Underneath you, we're gonna have a seat. This time we're gonna take our left leg, or either leg, not mirroring today, and we're going to tuck that foot back toward your hips. If this is too much for you, you can do a standing or a lying down quad stretch. I'm just gonna lean back into it. You can stay up on your hands, or you can drop down awkwardly with lots of grunting noises to your forearms. Make sure you relax your neck. Breathe. Just a little bit longer. And then carefully making your way out of it, maybe swinging over to the side a little bit, sitting up and switching legs. So right foot tucks underneath us. You can drop down to your forearms if you want to. This sometimes hurts the top of my feet when I don't have shoes on. It hurts to put my weight on it, so I'm not going to. Just a little bit longer, remembering to breathe. And then carefully making your way out, shaking out those legs. Oh, that really did hurt the top of my feet. From here, let's open up through our hips. So we're gonna come onto our hands and knees, swinging our left leg out to the side, and then opening our hips. You can reach up with your left hand. You can stay on your hip. You can go wherever you like, but try to tuck your tailbone a little bit and shift those hips forward. As always, try not to lock out that grounded elbow. Tiny bend. You can turn your left toes forward and then up to the sky just to rotate through that hip joint. From here, swinging back down through the center, right leg out to the side, left hand down, opening up those hips. You can point that toe up, rotate it forward, or move between those two foot positions. I'm going to reach up and over with my arm because I will take any chance to get a little side stretch. And then carefully swinging back down to hands and knees. Give me a cat-cow here. So inhale, reach your chest forward, lift your tailbone up. Exhale, reverse, tuck your chin, tuck your tailbone round through your spine. Neutral spine, come down to a seat. Let's cross our left leg over our right leg, flex through your left foot, and really sit into it. Try to get your hips a little bit closer to your right heel. you want, you can move side to side or not. And then carefully switching sides. Maybe moving, maybe not. And go ahead and untangle those legs. We're gonna lie down on the ground. Bring your ball with you if it's not already close by. So we're gonna lie down to start. Plant the feet, bend the knees. Just lift our hips up into a bridge to start. Starting by squeezing, activating the glutes, and then release the glutes. Notice that your hips might drop a little bit when you release. Squeeze your glutes, release your glutes. Lift those hips higher, squeeze your glutes, release your glutes, and slowly lower back down. Take both knees, let them fall, both bent knees, let them fall to the right side. Big breaths into your belly. Both bent knees travel through the center and over to the left. Big breath. Knees come back to the center, feet plant, lift those hips high as you can. Squeeze your glutes. Release your glutes. And slowly lower back down. Roll or rock up to a seat. We're gonna grab that ball and we are going to stick it under our calf. So just below the meatiest part of your calf. Squish it in there. And then we're gonna slowly, it might not stay, it's a small area to dig into. You can just put some weight on it, maybe even lean forward. When you find an extra ouchy spot, try to hang out there. Also play around with pointing and flexing your toe. Maybe rolling your ankle around. Maybe wiggling your calf side to side. And we're gonna travel up the calf a little bit. So roll that ball. I move my body. The ball should now be more in that meaty, thicker part of your calf. And you can just sit on it or roll it or point and flex, whatever feels good. Roll up a little bit more. movement or stillness you choose. And we're going to roll up a little bit more. We're not quite behind the knee yet. Typically, you don't want to roll on or super close to a joint, but we're going to let that ball sit behind our knee in just a moment. And whenever you're ready, go ahead and get that ball situated right behind your knee. Let's not roll or move. Let's just sit on it. You can kind of hinge your torso if you want to put more weight on it or not. Ooh. All right, and release. Let's do the other calf before we move on to another part of our leg. So just, the ball goes just below the meaty, thicker part of your calf. You can just sit into it, point and flex your toe, move side to side, whatever feels good. Then we're gonna slide up to that wider part, the calf. Ooh. Slide up a little bit further. A little bit further. We're not yet behind the knee. And then whenever you're ready, situate that ball right behind your kneecap and just kind of sit on it, put some pressure on it. You can press down into the ball if that helps. You might need to straighten your leg a little bit. Good. Now from here, remove that ball. We're going to switch back to the other side. I'm going to take that ball and place it on the outside of your thigh, below your hip. Find a spot where you can put some pressure on it. So I'm about almost halfway between my hip and my knee. I just did some hill runs this morning, so very painful. From here, we're going to pin that ball down, kickstand that back leg, foot is planted, knee is bent, back knee is bent. And then if you can handle it, we're going to bend and straighten that leg while keeping the ball pinned under it. If you have to hold the ball a little bit, the material of my pants wants to make it slip out. You can play around with moving that ball up a little higher or a little lower. If the movement is too much, just remove it. A little bit longer. Keep moving it around if you want to. And relax, you can remove that ball. Now from here, we're gonna roll down our hamstrings. So we're gonna start at the top of that same leg, just under your cheek. Sometimes a ball is not really enough to get my hamstrings. If you have a foam roller and you wanna use that, go for it. But find the spot where you can pin it down. If sitting up helps, sitting up will probably help a lot more, actually. You can move side to side or roll that ball just slightly. You can even lift your right butt cheek up off the ground, put some more pressure on it. And when you're ready, you can roll down a little bit. And down a little bit more. And down a little bit more. You're gonna work down until just above your knee. That's always my spot. Oy. Move at your own pace. And then whenever you get to the bottom of your hamstring, just above your knee, we're gonna switch to the other side. So pinning that ball down on the outside of your right thigh, kickstanding your left leg behind you, finding a spot where you can hold that ball. Whew. And then starting to work those muscles by bending, stretching your leg. You can move that ball up and down if you want to. Oh. Sound effects are welcome. You can do any kind of work on your IT band or hamstring without making a noise. Not sure if I trust you as a human. Ooh. And then when you're done with the outside of the leg, we're gonna move on top of the hamstring, just under your cheek. sit into it, move it around, or stay still, or shift your weight on top of it. Moving down. At your own pace. Working your way until you're just above the knee. And then removing the ball. We're gonna roll our glutes a little bit, and then you will be done. So back down to bridge position, lift your hips up. Place that ball near the top of your left cheek. And then with your hips, see if you can move them side to side. If you want to rock forward and back, you can. Or if you just want to be still, like always, you do you. I like to move my knees back and forth. And starting to work that ball down. And you can move it toward the inside and the outside of that left glute. If you want some pressure and you're starting to move it down toward the bottom of your cheek and it's slipping out, you can straighten that left leg to keep the ball in and add some extra resistance. And then as you're ready here, removing that ball, lifting your hips up, we're gonna switch sides. Right side, top of the glute, movement or none, straight leg or not. Starting to work down toward the center, inside the outside. Down toward the bottom. And then as you finish up, you're gonna remove that ball and let's straighten our legs and just lie flat and notice if you feel that sense of release. It's pretty chemical, it feels really nice. Taking a big breath in And a big breath out. Making your way up to a seat. You guys are finished for today. Thanks for rolling with me. Have a great week, and I will see you next time.